All right, good day today. Today was our typical Wednesday practice, getting ready for a game day, so everything's kind of sped up with us playing on Thursday night. Our guys are definitely excited about playing. I think we've had 23 practices to this point throughout fall camp, so it's ready. They're ready to go play somebody else. Definitely a great opportunity, great challenge. This Thursday, NC State, I've played them several years there in a row at Clemson, and they always have had good teams. Coach Doran's done a really good job within their program. I think this is probably his best team that he's had since he's been there. They have 18 or 19 starters back. I believe all 10 of the 11 on defense, and got a talented transfer defensive lineman to replace the one guy they lost there, and then 8 of the 11 starters back on offense. And just a lot of juniors, seniors, physical players, very talented, and it'll definitely be a great challenge, and one our guys are looking forward to. The biggest thing for me, kind of for our team going into it, is really just trying to see progress from where we were a year ago. I felt like I've seen a lot of progress in the off season, just with the attitude, the mindset, work ethic, those type of things, and so it's really important that we see that progress carry over to the game on Thursday night. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Coach, is the hay in the barn, or are you still playing with the offensive defensive game plan?
Yeah, we're pretty close. I think we've had our game plan in for a couple of days. There's still some tweaks that you go when you're going in. Tomorrow's still a very important practice for us. Tomorrow's our Team Thursday practice, where we're just in helmets and really do about 45 minutes of game plan versus the scouts and go through all of our kicking games. That's still a critical piece. And then on Wednesday will be our typical Focus Friday, where we have meetings and walkthroughs and those type of things. So still plenty of work to do, but the game plan's in, and now it's just about kind of refining it and being sure that every player understands all the details of what we're asking them to do and the situations when those different calls and plays should be called on Thursday night.
Coach, you've had 8 months to prepare for this game. Is there a fear of paralysis of analysis?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter every year. Going into the first game, there's a lot of things that you are concerned with and seeing, and the big message to our guys is going to be to play full speed. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. I think we could watch those games this past Saturday, and you could look at any opening game. There's a lot of mistakes that are made, but the biggest thing is playing full speed, not out there thinking. And just being able to react and respond to the situation and execute in a fashion that it takes to have success. So there's still a lot of things that we have to do mentally just to kind of get ready here in these next 3 days. But overall, I'm pleased with where we are heading into it.
Your run defense is going to be tested pretty early this year. You touched on a little bit. What's problems do you see Bam Knight and Ricky Person presenting?
Yeah, I think they're probably potentially the most talented backfield in the ACC. So there's no doubt that'll be a great challenge. I think for us, it's about alignment, assignment, people being where they're supposed to be. I mean, that's ultimately what defense is. Offense, you have one guy runs the wrong route, you may throw it over here for a touchdown, and nobody even knows it. Defensively, one guy is out of the gap, and against these talented backs, it's a touchdown. So I think that's been the big focus, is being sure everybody understands their assignment and where they line up, where their eyes are, and then whenever we get the opportunity, we've got to get those guys down. They're big backs, and probably some of the most talented we'll see all year.
Jeff, what's the temperature of the team? They anxious to get on a plane?
Yeah, I think they're ready. They're tired of practicing against each other. They're ready to go play, and it's been a good off season. But I'm glad that we're playing on Thursday night and not Saturday. If we still had 6 more days to go, I don't know if we could make it. So the guys are definitely excited and looking forward to it. And now it's about really just kind of keeping them focused to finish out the last 3 days of prep.
After going through so many opening games in your coaching career, what have you learned about how to prepare for an opening game and what to do and what not to do?
Yeah, don't assume that the guys are going to understand each situation just because they did it a year ago. I think also for us, it's been 2 years since anybody's played in crowd noise, right? So that's something we've tried to do a good job of in practice. I know it'll be I'm expecting an electric atmosphere Thursday night in Raleigh, and especially first time in over a year where they've had fans. So, that's a big thing. Last year, if a guy lined up wrong or whatever, you could yell across the field in the middle of the play or before the play, and they could hear you. That's not going to be the case when you're playing on the road this year. But yeah, I think that the biggest things that I've learned is to try to be simple. I think sometimes as coaches you can make mistakes because you have so much time to prepare. As coaches, you just keep adding things, and then what you find out after the first game is, all right, we had too much stuff in and we couldn't execute it. I think that's kind of been my message to our staff is, using this extra week that we really have since the game plan's been in, not to add new things, but really to just focus on executing the plan that we have and be committed to that. And then the other thing again is, there's going to be mistakes, but make them full speed and, be able to respond if there's mistakes early in the game and not continue to make the same mistakes later on. But, as a coach, you try to do everything you can to prepare your guys and put them in the best situation. But at the end of the day, the first game's the first game. Whether you win or lose, there's a lot of stuff to correct. Usually the most progress is from game 1 to game 2, historically, I guess. But, I think for us, the focus is to go out and play the very best game we can here, game 1.
Because of the type of opener you have, you're not at home tippy-toeing in, you're going on the road against a quality team.
Yeah.
Is that going to give you a quick assessment of where you are and what you need to do? Yeah,
I think definitely playing a very talented team. I think they may have more returners back than anybody in our league or in their league. So it's going to definitely we're going to find out a lot about our team right off the bat. But really the big emphasis that we've talked about for a while and talked about all week is it's not really about our opponent. Yeah, we got to know who they are. We got to know what they do. But really it's about us and how we execute and how we do the things. That's really all that we can focus on. We can't worry about what they may do on their side. And so even though we're playing a very talented opponent, we're not spending a lot of time talking about them. We're really talking about all the things that we need to do to execute our game plan.
Obviously, there were kind of I'm sure you had some butterflies, your first game as head coach last season, are those kind of still there for the first game of this season? Are they gone? Or
yeah, I think you're always. I think as a competitor, you always have, and that's a good thing. I think when you lose that as a player or coach, then maybe you're not where you're supposed to be. I don't think that there's a nervousness of concern or worry or kind of the paralysis deal. I think there's an excitement each year. You're starting off. It's a new game. It's a new season. There's a lot of excitement that comes from that, and I think that can be good if you channel it in the right way. And that'll be another thing we talk to our guys about as we get closer is, not playing the game during pregame. Everybody's going to be excited. I'm sure they're going to have music cranking and all that stuff, but we got to prepare and be ready to play a 4-quarter game.
The difference a year has made, Jeff. Last year, all the protocols going into a game against the Citadel, which wasn't on the original schedule.
Right.
And here you have,
Yeah.
still concerns, but otherwise,
Right.
these things
Yeah,
are along.
it's definitely, we're still not 100% all the way back. We still obviously have to take the protocols and everything with the pandemic. But as far as being able to have a typical fall camp and really spring practice and fall camp together, to know who our opening opponent is and prepare, there's definitely, I think that's been a really good part of the preseason and feeling like we're getting back to some level of normalcy.
You mentioned not playing the game during pregame. You mentioned the excitement. First game of a clean slate coming off a 1-win season.
Right.
Where do you prioritize reeling guys in, keeping them in control, not getting too overhyped?
Yeah, I think the big thing is it's how you're preparing for each game, and like I've said, our first 2 games are big games. Everybody's been talking about all off season, and rightly so, but really for us to take the next step as a program, we've got to get to a point where our guys have the same focus every game. Whether it's the first game or the last game, there's a way that you have to channel those emotions and focus and being able to have the peak intensity at the right time. I think that's just all part of learning. And we definitely learned some last year. That doesn't mean we've learned every lesson. There'll be a lot of learning in this game. There'll be a lot of learning this season coming up. But that's definitely something that we talk about, and really as we kind of get closer, there needs to be a standard to our preparation, a standard to our pregame, a standard to how we play halftime, adjustments and all those type of things, regardless of who we're playing.
Coach, is it an advantage to script plays?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, everybody does it their own way. I think the majority of people probably script their first 9, 10 plays, however that is. We've done that in the past. And when you're scripting plays, that it's not 1 through 9. Third down or special situations may take you off of your script, and sometimes it may take you 2 or 3 series before you get through all of your scripted plays. But I think it's good for your offense to be able to have confidence knowing what the calls are going to be, and you rep those a lot, kind of getting ready. But it's the same thing, obviously, on both sides. So I think for us, being able to come out and really just execute the calls that we want to make early on, and then gain as much knowledge as we can from those for maybe how they're going to defend us. That's another thing. You can look at film all year long, but at the end of the day, people have an entire off season to change things. So I'm sure they'll be kind of filling us out. We'll be filling them out a little bit, and then be ready to adjust the rest of the game.
We've seen in the spring and in the fall Cade's leadership, and obviously he won the job. So as you prepare for your first game, how much do you think he's ready to be the guy out there that people can lean on?
Yeah, I think he's ready. I feel very confident in him. He's been consistent. I think that's, to me, that's where you get confidence, is from consistency. As a coach, that's how you get confidence in your quarterback and your leaders, is consistency. And this leadership group that we've had since January has been very consistent. Cade's done a really good job, and that's one reason that he was named our starter. So I'm excited for him. It's the first opportunity for him to be able to go out as a starter and be able to lead our team into a new season. And I know it's not going to be perfect. It never is, but I'm definitely excited to watch him play, and I believe he'll play well.
What's the timeline for those players that may not have gotten vaccinated via testing and kind of contact tracing? What's your guys' procedures for those going forward?
Yeah, well, it's pretty standard. Our conference has it lined up where they have to be tested once a week within 48 hours of kickoff. And so the guys that fall into that category, really the only guys that are tested are the ones that are unvaccinated that have not tested positive within the last 90 days. And that's a very, very small list for us.
Do you know what you're going to do at kicker and punter, or are you still tinkering with that?
I do know, but we haven't announced anything other than quarterback. And it's not really because we're trying to trick. I don't think NC State's really worried about our lineup going into this game. I'm sure they're just worried about them going out and playing well. But really it's because as a coaching staff, we've kind of told our players that we're not going to be making any of those final decisions other than quarterback until after tomorrow's practice. And then we'll start letting them kind of know. And then, for the first game, we'll go out there and line up. But I don't think there'll be any major surprises there.